Those Voidwoken make short bloody work of the ship.
Right.
Am I the
You've now survived from the ship.
It seems someone, something, wanted me alive.
So yeah, welcome back to Divinity Original Sin 2. Sorry I'm taking a little bit. I got to this bit before. I'm going to quickly make a save. Because I recorded this bit and the power went out. I had to play through the start of the game again. Just to get back here. Yep. But there is a child over there. We're not going to speak to them. They don't have anything important to say. But I guess there's a couple things I can show that are different now. So, we get bag features. I don't have data action points anymore. Because it doesn't really do much for me. So I decided best not to have it.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it ashore.
We do have a fight here, which we're going to do that. Be a bit cheeky right off the bat.
I know you.
I'm going to try and run through this bit. Now, we did say in the previous episode I was going to pair up with one specific character. I decided to change my mind about that. I'm going to pair up with the team I had originally. Because I figured it might be more fun just to sort of go through my, like I played on my original save file. So I am going to pair up with more than one character. I was going to do what's called a lone wolf playthrough. Oh cool, level up.
I thought these bloody colours.
Basically the way lone wolf works is with this skill, if you have just one companion, or if you're on your own, you get a ton of cool bonuses. You can see the bonuses right here. I'm just not going to have that. Because screw it. There's no reason. But when you level up, you get 2 attribute points. I'm putting them into Constitution just for more health. And sometimes you get 1 point for your skills app. We're going to go into Summoning for that. Seasoned experts will sort of know why I'm doing this. But there are benefits to leveling up your individual talents.
I wonder which order.
But I decided not to go with Lone Wolf playthrough just because, Read that. We don't need to read that book, that gives you crafting recipes. Like I said, I'm not going to focus on crafting.
Another giant. My word, this blasted isle is teeming with them.
What's that? Yes, I did see how it made short work of the great acorn servants. Quite right, very impressive.
But that is no reason to trust it. Giants like that destroyed our forests.
They are the very reason the great acorn is returning in all its wrath. What? Dear me, have you taken leave of all 6 of your senses? You would have me use this giant for a shield? What would I... Oh, I see. You cunning devil, Quercus. Of course, if it defeated the great acorn's vile servants, it can do so again. We need only follow in its big, wide shadow and be safe. Egad! It speaks our tongue, Quercus. Hush before. What do you mean a good time for introductions? You know full well who I am, you silly old cat. The great Salora, grandest of the... Oh, introduce myself to the giant. I shall do no such thing. You give away your trust too easily, my dear steed. No, we will have the giant march. In time, we'll see whether it deserves our confidence. Now, onwards! Shield! Venture forth, post-haste. The great acorn waits for no one.
And now we have Salora. So yeah, this is Salora. He's kind of a bonus campaign. He has to get all the way to the end of the game. Doesn't matter if he dies or not, and he'll probably die without me even noticing anyways. So we're just gonna kind of ignore him, since he doesn't do much anyways.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red colour. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have, had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful hole. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Nevertheless, one good turn does deserve another, so as far as the whole slave business is concerned, let's just forget about it. You may as well have your freedom. Now then, if there's nothing further... If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful amount of things on my mind, hence my standing here contemplating the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Touché.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. Of course, it's rather specific. Quite obviously, I'm musing over the very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the Spouse of the Sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. This and that. Tag along. Do you really mean to compare the fate of an empire to whatever foibles you seek to fix? On the other hand, I really could do with a dog's body. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came back for the others on that ship after all. Fine, I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of our kind's revered mystics. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. The undead? Like your good self, you mean? Come now, did you really think a handful of linen towels can fool me? But don't worry. I've studied the arcane arts for years, including necromancy and demonology. I do not hold the petty prejudices of common folks. In fact, I prefer the exceptional in all things. Your secret is safe with me. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, My Lord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado, let us be off.
And now we have the Red Prince as a teammate. How he works, well, he's more so about persuasion. But the whole bit where he said he was all about fighter with a sword and all that, that is specifically for his class. I chose a fighter because I figured a fighter is better in my case. He's a geomancer and warfare user, which is a really good combo, I gotta be honest. I just realized I actually need to craft... Actually, no, I don't need to, but I'll craft some potions. He's a pretty good character. We can also hover over his skills. Bounty shield is pretty much the best warfare skill in the game. You throw your shield and it ricochets ricochets to enemies, dealing damage based on physical armor of the shield. So the better shield you have, the more damage you do. And it can go as far as basically clearing an entire crowd of enemies, which is just fantastic. But I'm going to go around and recruit I'm going to go around and recruit my original team for my first ever playthrough because it was a good team.
A black cat. Some would see this as an omen.
Where's the cat?
We are not the only ones.
Oh, it's following me.
Strays.
So Laura? Oh, there he is. He just sort of ran off. Weird.
I've spotted something.
Oh, but here we go. If you have enough intelligence or wits, you can... I think it's wits actually. You can find stuff hidden in the ground. And if you're a lizard,
Let's hope this
you
is
can
worth
dig.
digging.
If you were a human character, you would normally need a thing. That's pretty nice stuff though. We also got a unique weapon, a darling bow. Unfortunately, we have no use for it. Because we are not getting an archer on our side. But the black cat is following us. If we'll come over here. We're going to do everything we can to keep it alive. Because it is something special if we keep it
You
alive.
walk up to a skeleton unlike any you have ever seen before. His skull seems to be carved into intricate patterns, with a gemstone sitting in the middle of his forehead. Approaching, you hear a profane rumble from the undead beast.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh. Perhaps...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor? Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Oh, it's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected. Oh yes, an exceptionally common but exceptionally valuable commodity. A face. A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his skull. I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the body. I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Because my own was stolen from me! And the idea of being chased across Rivellon by every idiot with a torch does not appeal! I hardly need to tell you how these savages react to seeing bone. Oh, get away! Monster! Hide the children! Oh. You are simple beasts. And you simply do not like my... Well, not my kind, but those that look like me. So, if I am to traverse this land, I will need a mask to disguise my features. Simply put, I am an Eternal, and you are not. You have my sympathies. Indeed, no one seems to have the good taste to be. My people are rather absent, at least from this realm. As for the others, well, there is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers. I suppose, circumstances being what they are, it could be advantageous. You seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would certainly be useful. Excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps you notice that I am rather skilled in, well, all things. Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality, but being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you require for this enterprise of yours? Ah, you seek a more subtle approach. How surprisingly civilized. Very well. What do you require? I could do that with one hand behind my spine. Now, shall we get on? There is rather a lot to see. Splendid. Very well. Let's be off.
There you go. Now we have Fane, who is a pretty interesting character. He is undead, so he'll heal from poison as well. But I'm having him spec'd out this way, so he's a scoundrel. That's what happened in my first playthrough, so I figured may as well have him like that. He's going to be backstabbing a lot of folks, and he is powerful. Plus, like I said about his innate skill, he can guarantee himself extra turns. And he also starts off with Adrenaline, which is busted. It immediately gives you 2 extra points to use during your turn, but next turn you start with 2 less. That doesn't matter to Fane. Because he could end up, like, he could basically make it so he gets 1 turn where he does a lot of stuff, the next turn he does nothing. Except that doesn't matter to him at all. He can just make it so he gets his extra turn. So what he can do is, when he only gets to do 1 action, he can give himself an extra turn. And he comes back, well, he makes his turn again, but with way more Fane. With way more points to use in a turn. So he'll have the most turn out of all of us. By a long shot. Oh. Yeah, I'm not supposed to head up there yet. I might. No, it's okay. Able to go up there. I know how to get up there anyway, so we'll continue on and get our last party member as well. Because they're quite great. And there is a NPC here. We're not going to talk to him.
1, 2, long dead of the crew. 3, 4, pretty shallow.
Basically, they'll just say they saw the Red Prince at the shore, which we know. We meet him before her. So we're gonna go over here. Just need to be careful with the cat.
And stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, lizard!
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
I should say right now, there is an achievement you can get here. This girl, Dallas. If you can defeat her right here, you will get an achievement. There are 2 ways to do this. Pretty easily, and there's another one which takes a long time. The first is that there was the door in the ship that I didn't open. There was a key in a corpse right in front of the door. You can use it to open the door, and you can run in and grab a Death Fog barrel, which is in there. Death Fog is an insta-kill element in this game. It will not kill an undead character though. You can place it just close enough to her to kill everyone in that area, but Death Fog stays permanent. And it covers a lot of areas, so you'll probably end up killing the cat as well. Another thing you can do, when a container of some kind has the item in it, it gains that item's weight. You can combine that with telekinesis to place the container on the ground and slide it over an NPC just right, and that NPC will take damage equal to the weight. So, in Dallas's case, if I got something with 600 weight and moved it just over her with telekinesis, she will lose all of her armor and health and be one shot. That's how you get the achievement called the Hammered.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness.
I believe we're done here.
Yeah, we cannot save Atusa anyways, because these guys, the Hammer's pet, they'll just knock us down.
Will be needed elsewhere.
Now, there is a third way of dealing with this. There's a ladder you can climb, you can over level and come back here and try and kill her.
The Lizard Magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.
These creatures are so prone to violence. Naturally, the weaker specimens suffer.
But yeah, you can over level and come back here to take out Dallas. Now, I believe Fane is actually... Yeah, you'll notice an inventory inconsistency here. Obviously, there's no leg from the ship, because I had to run through the game again, so I just ran through it. But Fane is an elf, I believe. No, he is not an elf, but there is a way to make him an elf. We'll get to that in due time. Till then, we're going to talk to our last party member, Belusa.
I know you.
Losa, the dark-eyed jokester you met aboard the ship, waves enthusiastically and dips into a mock elegant curtsy.
Back then I was Madame Josephine Gribbles de Pube. And you were... you. Glad to see you made it. Nothing like a nice tentacle slap across the moor to set the tone for the week, eh? How'd you escape? I saw you fall. We all did. Thought you were done for. When we get out of this place, I owe you a pint. So you managed to swim to safety, is that it? What about when you were in the water? Didn't hear anything unusual, did you? I heard the same thing. Do you know what this means? It means I'm not the only...
Losa's voice catches in her throat. The joy drains from her face. Her eyes lose focus, and her whole body goes rigid. She is stock-still, waxy-skinned, her eyes dark. Greyish-black veins run from her eyes down her cheeks. Her head snaps to you mechanically, and her eyes lock with yours, dark pupils dilated into great black voids. Light suddenly flashes back into her face. The grey veins drain to pinkish flesh, and her whole body relaxes.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Ah, yeah. It was a shipwreck, all right. Not much more to say about it, I guess. Papa Joris used to tell me, Losa, he'd say, Losa, you ever find yourself in a sinking ship, follow the rats. They'll find you a way out. Applies to a lot of situations, actually. Vermin tend to know what's what. Ah, it's nothing really. It's just, I'm just a bit hospitable. Put it like this. You've never been a host, I bet. That's because you're an infested clump of leaves on the side of the road. That ain't bad, though. I'd give just about anything to be like you. But I'm a A roadside inn, red door, flowers out front, friendly lady at the door beckoning you in for half price. Like a goddamn gold star inn for the disembodied. Feels like just one, strangely enough. Big one, though. Don't know its name yet either. It takes time for them to get comfortable and introduce themselves. So, how are you enjoying the joy? So true. And you can stay as long as your heart desires, free of charge. So, you want to check this place out together? Strength in numbers and all that. It does, right? Before we head out, I've got more than a few tricks up my sleeve, so you'll have to pick which one I'll pull out if, when, push comes to shove. Lately I've been into the enchanting arts, but I can shoot, slash, summon, steal, whatever your little black heart desires. So, what'll it be? Sounds fine. So, we're good to go? Yeah? Well, that was easier than I thought, and I'll do my best to stay myself. Lead the way. Well, no, or I wouldn't have joined up with you, would I? Don't worry, I'm sure your get-up will fool most people hook, line and sinker. I'm sensitive. Knew who you were the moment you rolled up. So don't worry, and lead the way, your deadliness.
Yeah, now we have our 14. Lucette is a Hydrosophist, which is really cool. Hydrosophist at Elfurge. That'll probably change though, because fame. Elfurge is kind of cool, but also not amazing.
You, help me teach this beast. He must respect. If not, he comes for you next.
Respect? Huh. Someone's got to keep this place running. Griff can't do it for free. Why'd you gotta make this so hard?
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muzzled and heavily scarred arms. You recognise him. It's Ifan, who you met aboard the ship on the way here.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you.
Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined threat.
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth the sweat of my brow anyhow.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
And we will follow this woman. Why not? If you have a full party, you can talk to Ifan and recruit him. But when you have a party of 4, you can't have any more. That's why there'll be a modded playthrough where I have all the companions. Because it could just be fun. And yes, it could be a modded playthrough, but I figured best not to. Because we can go to dialogue in this playthrough, and then next playthrough we can just run through it.
A little reprieve from the din outside.
You can't get me.
Thank you for your help with that, thug. No doubt he turns on you next. These humans hate us.
The elf appears momentarily puzzled by your comment, but then offers you a dignified little bow.
As far as I'm concerned, you are noble and just in both actions and appearance. I am in your debt. I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs I can stand, but I fear the Magisters. In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows more than we know. In the camp, the brute Griff rules. He who gives the bread has the power. It gives me great pain. I'm with my family. We are making beautiful magic. We are healing a tree cut down with great violence. The Magister's come. My family runs, but I fall. My son looks back. I shout to him to run. I am taken. Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I save it for a special occasion, but I can think of no finer occasion than this. Thank you.
Yeah, that gives us a quest complete. Which I'm just going to take the level armor, I'm going to equip it to Red Prince. Because I was getting upgrades. But let me just check. Okay, with the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to end this episode. Next episode, what we're going to do is I'm going to get the Black Cat out of Fort Joy. Because that is my first and utmost priority. Then we'll come back into Fort Joy and start doing some stuff. So I'll see you all then.